Right, so I've done a couple of videos on this Weil McClain boil that I have. It's a gold, and right now I'm gonna start cleaning it out. I've kind of neglected it a little bit. It's been a few years since I've cleaned it. So right now, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I wanted to show you, what the service guy is up against when he comes to clean the boiler at your house. So right now I had to disconnect this electrical connection right here, and then I'm gonna put a bowl under the fuel line. And I had to disconnect the fuel line right here and kind of put that to the side. So once it's out of your way, there's a nut that holds the door on. So I took that off and I'm going to swing the door out to see what's inside. So right now, this is about 3 years of not getting cleaned. And I know I got to start cleaning this thing every other year. The boiler's brand new, so it's like 4 years old. So it's not too bad for the age of it, but you can see like all the rust that tends to get collected at the bottom when your boiler starts burning fuel and stuff like that. So we've got to scrape this and clean it all out, and we're going to get going with this, and we'll show you what's involved with doing this. Alright, so right now we got to change the nozzle, and there's a couple bolts, there's like 3, they're notched, so we had to loosen those up. We're going to pull off the pump, and there'll be like a nozzle inside of it that we need to remove.
The little feely things?
Yeah, so the nozzle's down in there, so we've got to get like a socket down in there to remove the thing. So let's see if we can get one in there. Alright, so what are we doing right now? We're undoing the bolt.
I'm taking off this lip.
Okay.
But I think I might go with a socket. That's
Okay.
like a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, I'll go grab one. Alright, so what we're doing right now is we're loosening the 3 bolts that are under this adapter plate. There's one there. Is there 4? Yeah, there's a 4th one over there.
These ones can stay.
So we're going to loosen these up so we can move that off. Alright, so we've loosened up the 4 bolts. We took a couple out, and there's a couple that are slotted. So we can push the head, and it'll pull right off. And, what's that, the electrode part?
Yep, and you get
The injector's like right in the middle, right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Alright, so let's get that out of there, and let's find a socket that hits it. That'll fit it. Yes, one of the things we need to do is we need to take this part off. So we got to be careful not to hit those electrodes right there. So we're going to take that off. There's a little nut right here that we had to loosen up. There's a screw. So we loosened that and allow us to slide it off. So now we're able to get a socket in there. And you got to be careful with the electrodes and the socket. You might want to use a wrench on it, which is what we're going to do. Alright, so we needed to have 2 wrenches. We needed a wrench to hold this one so you don't bend the electrodes, and we were able to crack the injector off right there. So now,
Fuel nozzle.
it's a fuel nozzle. So now we can run down to the local store like Home Depot or Lowe's or something and see if we can match that thing up. Alright, so what we need to do too is to take the filter off the oil tank. We shut the valve off, which is right there, so no oil will come through. And we're going to loosen the filter with the filter wrench. And I'm going to grab the part number off of that and go to our local store. And we should be able to grab that from Home Depot as well. So let's get that off. And it's pretty easy to remove. And we'll get a new filter for it.
I know, it's not light.
The light's over here. Alright, so we got like a new nozzle. And we're screwing the new nozzle back into the tip. So we'll get that screwed in and put a wrench on it. We'll tighten that up. Get the light for you. This really isn't that out of a job. You just got to kind of have a plumber like I do that knows what he's doing.
Alright, now.
Put that thing back on. Put that thing over there, nozzle. We gotta tighten that bolt that's on it. The screwdriver. It's like just that one bolt that kind of holds it tight.
Alright, now we're gonna set. Make sure you line up the bolt holes.
Yeah, so you have to put that adapter back on. And gonna line up the holes on the bottom right there. The screws. The one's notched. A couple of them are notched. So you line up the notches and twist it into place so that the other bolts line up.
And make sure everything lines up inside here.
Yeah, no kidding. So waved in this, you're gonna want to watch the inside to.
There we go.
Yeah, so make sure that that lines up right.
And then give it a little turn.
Yep, alright, now the bolt holes are lined up. So now I'm gonna tighten all this back up. Alright, just a couple more screws to go. We should be able to put this back on soon.
It's like a Carlin, just go a quarter.
Alright, so I'm gonna tighten my filter back on. And it's just kind of like an automotive filter. You want to put it on tight, but not. You can go like a little bit of a turn with the oil wrench. So I'm throwing an oil wrench on there and snug it up just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna shop back all this crud out of here. I've got a shop back with a pellet stove filter in it, so it kind of restricts all the fine particles. So I'm gonna fire that up and get all the stuff out of here. There's stuff on the door too, so we'll go around and suck all that out. All right, so what are we doing up here? We're taking this cap off.
Yeah, we're gonna check out the fins.
On the inside.
Yep.
Alright, so once we sucked out the stuff out of the bottom, we're gonna go up here and inspect the inside. Let me fire this up. Alright, so what I just did is I just took this little blanket out of the bottom and dumped all the stuff out on the floor. I'm going to continue vacuuming all this up inside the furnace. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to finish doing this and we'll go on to something else. Alright, so I was able to take that insert out of the back of my furnace. You see that flashlight, buddy? So there's more stuff at the back. So I'm going to vacuum all this. And
Is it actually coming down this?
yeah, it's coming down. So we're using a brush too. You don't want to brush down in there. Once you take that cover off, you can see like all the sand and kicked up stuff. So we're gonna clean all that out of there and kind of get this all buttoned back up in a minute. Alright, so I gotta put the heat shield back in here. And I gotta be wicked careful with this thing because it can get brittle. On the back, and then I gotta put the blanket back at the bottom. I really want to damage out the vacuum, so just gotta make sure it's kind of in there good. Then let's go back up to the top. So I'm gonna put the cap back on. We just finished up cleaning all down in there, so with the brush. So let's put this back in. This really wasn't too hard of a job to do. You just gotta kind of know what to do. What's down in there? A couple of screws?
Couple screws.
There
This
it
one I
is.
gotta lift up a little more.
Screw there. And there's one on the other side down there. It's hard to see, but you can see the head of it.
Should we get this one on this side first?
There it is. You can see now. It's basically I gotta catch those notches on both sides. I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to put the cover back on. Alright, so get the cap back on the top. Alright, let's shut the door, and we can start putting this all back together. Put the screw on. Oops, don't drop it. Okay, we'll get that attached. Ratchet that in place. Alright, so I'm going to put the burner back on. I'm going to line up all these bolts. There's like, was it like 3 of them?
Yes.
And the bolt holes are elongated, so you just gotta kind of poke the heads through and twist it. And there's a gasket right there. It can kind of be a pain. You gotta fight with that a little bit.
I'll loosen them a little bit. Oh, not that one. Where's the other one I just had?
I know what you did with it. You just need some more room with the bolts.
Yeah, just need it.
There we go. I'm just gonna crank down on all 3 of those bolts. And so we gotta reconnect the oil line. And we're gonna have to like bleed the air out of it, right?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
That's
Alright. Alright, so that's all snug.
This in.
Connect the electricity, power cable.
Everything's on, that's on,
That's
that's
all
on.
set. So what do we have next? The
I want to open this.
yeah.
Get fuel to put in here.
Alright, so we gotta re-crack the valve to get the fuel flow going again. Now what we're doing here is we gotta bleed out the fuel out of the line.
Alright, now I need
Yeah.
some power.
Yeah, you just start out the switches right there.
I gotta be right on this thing though.
Nah, you gotta pump it through.
Yeah, I don't want it. Right, and get all the air out of the line.
I've got a separate video too that shows you how to bleed this. It's pretty easy. Here it comes. Once we get a steady stream here, there's no more air in the line. Alright, so we just finished bleeding out the air line. It took a little while. And furnace started up. We got fire in there. So we're all set. We're all done cleaning this up. And thanks for checking out the video.